I'm going to talk about Volcanica shortly. It's not going to get too much in depth with it. We'll go over it again. But there's a lot to talk about with survivability. And a couple of player tests saying, well, can't you give them more health? Can't you give them more damage? We need to match Ruination, basically, and things like that. So, Dale sort of came in the chat and said, well, if I give him more health, he's going to have more damage, less damage. And some of the players are sort of like, what do you mean? Why have you got to do that? And it's kind of like a sliding scale. It's always been this way since day one, but it's a sliding scale between HP and DPS. You'll notice in the game that a lot of the warriors are a high HP, low DPS, and a lot of the gunners, jets have high DPS, low HP. And so the way I can best describe this is, let's just say they're 5 out of 10 for HP, 5 out of 10 for DPS, 5 out of 10 for how good the ability is, say. And let's just say that's for everything. If we want to make the ability 7, we've kind of got to drop the HP and DPS down to 4. Because we've only got 15 points to use. This is how I'm trying to explain it. So the question is, do you want to use 3 points on the ability and maybe lose some HP and DPS? Do you want to keep the ability at 4 or 3 and maybe gain some HP and gain some DPS? So it's all a balancing act between, but you can't just go, oh, we're going to make it 8 of everything. Because you're like, well, no, there's got to be something that it doesn't work towards. There's got to be something where it's a negative. And this is kind of the problem with Ruination. Because Ruination has great survivability. He has great damage. He has great range. And sadly, Ruination is so good now. And the bar is so high because he's good at everything. There's nothing that is kind of bad at. And that's the biggest problem with Ruination and why there's talk of, they should nerf him. Oh, they shouldn't. It's not fair. But the problem we've got now is that every content we ever create has to be up to that bar. And there's nothing wrong with occasionally bringing content out like this, making it so people chase that content. But then you've kind of got to either create a counter for it, or you then got to upgrade defenses to counter it regardless anyway. So it's kind of a moot subject in a way that if you create something really good that's really good on attack, defense is going to improve in some way, or there's going to be counters released. That's just a natural progression. And so ideally, in some respects, you don't want to create too much content like that. And so the kind of thing that I'm saying is that you can't have everything really in a combiner, or you can't have everything in a bot. And I've always said that everything in the game should have a niche. So have something it's really good at. Just that one thing. It doesn't have to be good at everything, and it shouldn't be good at everything. And I think some good examples are Pipes, for example. Pipes is, he's got actually pretty decent DPS from a tank. He's got crazy health. He's got crazy good ability. He's got really good range. Not amazing, stupid range. But this is why we have FFDs. Because he was not, FFDs come first, but this is why he had shields, because he needs a counter in some way, because he can't be all powerful. And this is why we had the anti-water cores come out for Ruination. That's why the anti-fire cores came out after we had Leo Prime. And so it's all well and good, we want this content to progress, and I understand people want good content and people want to chase it, but we also have to understand on the flip side of that, if we do choose to go down that route, then the next stage is a counter. The next stage is an increase in HP for the base, or a buff to defenses, or new cores, or something. There's going to be something to sort of balance that out, and we just need to understand that and accept that. That's the way it's going to be. So when the new content comes out, you can take advantage of it. It's not like I'm going to go do always a counter in a week later. You're going to take advantage of it, and hopefully the way I see it is that there's going to be a period where that content will be absolutely amazing and everyone should chase it, but it can't last forever. Because if not, let's just say that every other 5-star combiner we create is as good as Ruination, we kind of got that problem. Honestly, we have, guys. Honestly. But then every other combiner we create is not as good as Ruination, then we've kind of got a problem. Because we only need Ruination. So we're kind of between rock and a hard place with this these combiners now. But I just wanted people to sort of understand that with every single bot there's a balancing scale. You're never going to have a bot that does everything. It's going to have some kind of shortfall. The big question is, what is that? And does it suit your playstyle, or does it suit what you want from a bot? And that's when you decide to go for the bot or not. The problem lies is when you've got those five points, and it's kind of like threes, where you've got 3 on HP, 3 on DPS, 3 ability, and like this needs pushing up, and that's right. So it should be, the same level. But that's where balancing comes in. That's where playtest comes in as well. So a lot of content coming out, being released. I'm hoping it's good content. I'm hoping it is balanced in that way. Lots to announce, lots to talk about. But just wanted to put it out there that, we do have to accept some limitations in content sometimes.